Do you see that shit? Look at that nigga.
Criminal.
Now, I don't want to say how you died to Mr. Prada, because when I seen him, I think he could do all that shit. He could do all that shit.
Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
Wake up, filthy.
Are you good, bro? From my phone to my PC. Bro, what's up? Nigga, chill. This nigga. I always wonder, like, I don't know. I just thought something was up with him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When I looked at him, I was like, you know, you got an interesting like face and facial structure and build. You know what I'm saying? This not even recent though, cause he didn't even look like this in the what's the name? Practice for my mug shot, cause this might be the year someone gonna meet God. What the fuck? Do you see that shit? Look at that nigga.
Criminal.
Therapist was violently killed inside Mr. Prada's Baton Rouge apartment. How you kill your therapist, nigga? How do you kill your therapist who's there to help you? Now, I don't want to say how you died to Mr. Prada, because when I seen him, I think he could do all that shit. He could do all that shit. So I'm going to be totally unbiased. That nigga crazy as shit. He got it.
Well, guys, today's not going to be a super fun topic. We've talked about a lot of different TikTokers and social media influencers in general on this channel who have been known to do some pretty crazy stuff, but today we might be entering into a new category.
I'm not 47!
I think this is as bad as it can get. Over the last few days, there's been a pretty serious development involving a TikToker who is known as Mr. Prada.
This shit right here.
Not on TikTok, really, the's a pretty good chance
this nigga used to get so many likes, bro. This shit used to blow up, man.
Of TikTok videos that seems to be really big right now.
I always thought he was like a little, you know what I'm saying?
Something random and then you put a
okay, so now I know. Oh, him? Okay, I know I ain't tripping, bro.
With extra steps. I don't really get it, but they're really popular right now, have been for a while. And he was one of the bigger names involved in that kind of content, if you can call it that. But that's not why we're talking about him today. A couple of days ago, some screenshots started to make
that nigga is scary.
The rounds on Twitter depicting a person of interest who was involved with the murder of a Baton Rouge therapist. Pretty quickly, a lot of people started to think that these pictures resembled Mr. Prada, and rumors started to spread that he was the one who did this. And it did not take long for us to get confirmation that this person was in fact the TikToker Mr. Prada. Earlier today, as of recording this, Terrion Thomas, also known as Mr. Prada on TikTok, was arrested on suspicion of aggravated criminal damage to property, resisting an officer, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Now, you might notice that missing from these charges is anything that has to do with murder. Hey guys, real quick, August from the future here. I was going to upload this, and then a new development occurred where Mr. Prada has now been charged with second-degree murder. They're even alleging that the murder took place inside of Mr. Prada's apartment. So, yeah. Some of the stuff I might say in this video might not make a whole lot of sense because of that, but I was working off the information I had, okay? Just thought you should know. But things are pointing to that likely changing here pretty soon. As of right now, Mr. Prada is the #1 suspect in the case, mainly due to the nature in which he was arrested. The information we have now is that after William Abraham's body was discovered,
I can't look at this nigga accounting the same, bro.
In this situation, police announced that they were searching for a person of interest after a man was seen driving the therapist's stolen car. Once the car was located and a traffic stop was attempted, the driver backed up into the police officer, drove off, crashed, and then fled on foot. This is when the person of interest was made. The following day, Mr. Prada was arrested in Dallas after an officer confirmed that he was the one who was driving the vehicle. Now, there's a lot up in the air about this case right now, and obviously, since it involves somebody who's so big on TikTok, there's a lot of speculation, lots of rumors, lots of internet detectives, with most of the talk surrounding this case being about why
this the TikTok. This where my shit started at. This ever since I seen this shit, I've seen my For You page was filled with this TikTok right here, bro.
Might have done this. Now, just a quick heads up, we're going to be talking about some relatively heavy stuff here. This is not going to be my typical haha, look at this.
I ain't never noticed.
Who did
yes, I always seen these type of vids. Yes, bro.
It's a little bit more serious than that, so just keep that in mind moving forward. This is not going to be something that's fun to talk about, but I do still think it's important because unfortunately, some of the aspects of this situation are really tales as old as time. We're going to be talking about some things that most most people have probably heard or been told multiple times before, but they're things that you can never really get too many reminders on, and I think this situation is a pretty good example.
Hey, hold on. I'm sorry for pausing. What did that last one say?
Example of that. Too many reminders have been told.
When you let people treat you like shit because you don't want to lose them. Ooh, shit. Oh, yeah, shit serious.
And I think this situation is a pretty good example of that. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time. Let's begin.
This is serious.
So as I was saying, the main thing that people seem to be talking about in this situation is why exactly Mr. Prada would do this. This is a guy who is presumably making a pretty good amount of money making these TikTok videos.
Was he?
Young dude with his entire life ahead of him. Why is he getting tied up with the murder? Well, the answer that a lot of people are pointing to is a pretty unfortunate one. William Abraham, the man who was murdered, was arrested in 2015 and
ain't no way. Y'all see what that says? Whoa.
Accused of inappropriately touching a minor. During a counseling session, an 11-year-old boy accused Abraham of touching him inappropriately. Now, the charges ended up being dropped because the kid ended up recounting his statements, so the case was never actually brought to trial. But people did some digging, and they found that Mr. Prada happened to be 11 years old, which has led a lot of people on the internet to believe that that is the reason that Mr. Prada is involved in this, that he was the child involved in that 2015 case. Now, I'm not here to speculate or anything, but I will say just from a human perspective, that is kind of a crazy coincidence, but there's a very real possibility that that's all it is, just a crazy coincidence. The defense attorney that represented the therapist in 2015 said that it was not Mr. Prada in the case, and the DA who handled this case said this: while there was a probable cause for an arrest, my office had to determine if the evidence supported our burden at trial, which is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. This matter was under review by my office for approximately 2 years.
If you got touched as a kid, bro, oh my God, the story got a lot sadder.
Of any inculpatory statements by the arrestee, we declined to institute formal charges. Now look, for most things, I'm generally of the opinion that the justice system is a pretty sacred thing. It is far, far, far from perfect, don't get me wrong, but I feel like for the most part, when a person is found innocent of something, or if a person is found guilty of something...
Nigga, bro. I'm trying to see, I'm really trying to gauge by the door, because I'm trying to gauge how real scary this nigga is, you know what I'm saying? Like, judging by the door, this nigga gotta be damn. Fuck. Should I say 6 feet? Should I say 6 feet? 5'9", 5'8".
We as a society kind of need to respect that, otherwise shit kind of starts to fall apart. However, I'm also
that nigga tall, bro.
Generally, he might be 11-year-old has no motivation to lie about something like this, and that a kid recounting a statement is not evidence that a person is innocent. Now, I'm not saying that it's evidence that he's guilty either, but it does seem a little bit suspicious. Now, maybe that's me being a bit hypocritical considering what I just said about the justice system, but sorry, human nature is human nature. Can't help but find that kind of weird. But like I said, this could all just be a coincidence.
Is it crazy
I'm trying not to speculate, but I can't really not.
Is it wrong for me to say he got a weird build?
Certain facts about the case kind of strange.
I feel like it's
but at the end of the day, the guy could have just bought a stolen car.
Coco, I'm late. Please don't touch me.
Or he could have just stolen the car. A person running
I'm
from
only
the
about to be
police when
17.
they know they're driving a stolen car. Really not that hard to believe. There's a very real chance that he had no idea the car he was driving belonged to a dead person. I mean, generally, if you're gonna murder somebody, you're probably not gonna steal their car and drive it around afterwards. That would seem like a pretty stupid decision. If you really think about it, it kind of starts to make more sense that the guy just bought a stolen car or stole it himself and didn't want to get caught, and that's why he ran. However, there's another aspect of this situation that's leading a lot of people to believe that Mr. Prada might be more involved in this than just stealing a car. With this story coming out, a lot of people are looking back at the TikToks that Mr. Prada has made throughout the years with sort of a new set of eyes, and a lot of people seem to think that there were signs that something like this could have been brewing for quite some time. The one a lot of people are sort of jokingly referring to, I think, is this TikTok where he was practicing his mugshot because this year he might make somebody meet God. Without the context we have now, this video would just seem like somebody joking about kind of being on edge, having a rough year. But now that he's involved in this, you've got to look back and wonder how much of the stuff that he was saying was really a joke.
He told y'all niggas.
What I was referring to earlier when I said that stuff like this is important to talk about, even if you've heard it 100 times. You never know what's going on in a person's life. You never know what they're dealing with. Stories like this are far too common, where a person is putting out cries for help, the signs are all there, but they're the funny person, so it's taken as a joke. Or
This nigga got Playboy Cardi posters in the back. Ah, goddamn.
There's just nobody there to step in and be like, hey, what's really going on, man? Now, let me be very clear here, okay? Please do not take me saying this as me saying that you should try and take it upon yourself to try and save social media influencers when you think they're reaching out for help. Like, seriously, please do not do that. Parasocial relationships are real. You do not know these people. It's not your job to save somebody that you've never met. This is more of just like a general thing when it comes to your friends and family. When the signs are there, don't just ignore them because your friend has always said stuff like this, or your brother has always joked in this manner, or anything like that. If the signs are there,
I think I found some of this shit funny, but like it just
stuff that's concerning you, just reach out.
If I go back and look at his TikTok, it looks
a single
creepy.
Text can hold with a person is insane. Now, let me also be clear here. It's not your job or your responsibility to be looking out for another person's mental health constantly. I feel like a lot of people end up getting sucked into that, and that just does way more harm than good. At the end of the day, people are responsible for their own actions, and while that might be kind of hard for some people to hear, that's just the truth. You can't save a person who doesn't want saving, and you shouldn't be trying to. I'm not saying that you need to make it your life goal to go and save everybody you're connected to. That's not what this is. There's no guilt to be had in not reaching out. There's no guilt to be had in not knowing what was going on in somebody's head. If somebody goes out and does something drastic like this, unless you directly had a hand in making it happen, it's not your fault. All I'm saying here is that if there's somebody that you care about and they're doing some stuff that's concerning you, there's no harm in reaching out. But there is genuine harm in thinking that it's your responsibility to save another.
Just because I want to see how old this nigga is. Old is stupid. Right up. God damn. Okay. Yeah, that nigga's an adult. That nigga's an adult. Hey, that nigga's an adult. I thought he was like maybe like around my age or some shit like. What though? I just thought his bill. Yeah, I thought it was like 16 or 17, maybe 18. You know, it's just cause his bill, the way I thought he was. My fault. He used to scare my ass, bro. Like, look up. I'm sorry, bro. No, he's scared. He's scared.
I'm fuck with you.
Bro. Listen, I know this is the song from Undertale, but like, fuck off. Just let me talk for a second. It's kinda hard to explain all these things I wanna say, so I'll say them all today, right now. I wish I had a reason to live right now. I'm just waiting and it will never come around. Just tell me what I did wrong. I promise I'm not still the same one. Tell me self-love comes before the love of another, but I disagree, I hate myself until you don't. I need someone else to let me know